Hello and welcome to the Si5 Improvement podcast, where we bring to you high performance and success stories from everyday people, along with self-improvement and healthy living advice from myself, the host, Harry Edward Bassant, because I truly believe that all of us have got advice to give and experiences to share for the listeners of the podcast to take away and apply. Because when we improve ourselves, that is when we improve our life. Welcome to the Si5 Improvement Podcast. Before we get into this podcast, I just want to give a massive shout out to Gareth Stubbs, who is a founding sponsor of the Si5 Improvement Podcast, and very appreciative I am of him for having faith in me and this podcast. So literally, he has got a retreat over in Spain called Sana. Now, do you know when you get that feeling where you just need to step away from everything for just a minute? Well, that's exactly what Sana will provide. It's a small, super personal wellness retreat created to help you just slow down, reset, and actually feel like yourself again. Think countryside walks, fun movement, nourishing, creative, healthy meals, and evening yoga, thought-provoking talks, and lots of space to just breathe. Nothing is compulsory. You take things at your own pace, and everything's about balance. It's the kind of break your body and mind will thank you for. So if this sounds exactly the thing you need right now, just head over on social media to Sana. That's S-A-N-A, Sana Retreat. Just take a look. Have a look at the photos and the videos that Gareth puts out. It's actually amazing. I've seen them and I want to go over there next year. It's definitely the reset that you know you're waiting for. Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new season of the Si5 Improvement Podcast, Season 2. I have had about a 3-week break, I think, from podcasting. I've made a lot of changes in my life. The first big life leap I've made is quitting my job, my day job, 9 to 5. I've been in there for 3.5 years, and it was a big, bold move to come away. Love the job, love the people I worked for. I was just struggling to really continue with my full-time job as well as pursue my passion and my purpose that I believe I'm now here for in life. And trying to juggle the two was repeatedly burning me out. I was trying to do everything in the evenings and on my lunch breaks and things like this, and I was just literally burning out. So I had to make a decision. I either had to stay a warehouse manager for the rest of my career, or I had to make a bold move and trust myself into coming away, helping people full-time and developing an online business. Now, I always tell people to go all in on their health when they want to improve their health, and I think it was the same for me. I had to make an all-in commitment. So I handed in my notice and I've come away from my job. And there's 2 real reasons why I want to develop an online business. The first reason is to go into helping people full-time to regain control of their health, overcome addictions, give them purpose, accountability, and to really give them extra value to really help people. Because when I was doing it full-time while working in a warehouse, I just was burning out and I couldn't be there for people as much as I actually wanted to. And I really want to get things out there now to really help people via free content, which is this podcast, my social media content on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, where you can find me on Si5 Improvement or Harry Edward Bassant, and just reaching out to me via DMs and just hashing anything you want out of me, and I can give you some advice, anything to do with struggling with your health, wanting to improve yourself. Reach out to me by all means. They're just free of charge ways that I will continue to help people going forward. The online business, sort of chargeable business-like content that I'm going to start putting out there to really help people will deliver real, like in-depth value, like an increase of value, more of my time, more of my energy towards helping those specific people who have invested in themselves. I've recently invested in an online business course, and I really feel like you get the most when you commit to yourself. It's not so much about the money, it's about that commitment to yourself. And sometimes by investing that money, it just shows your commitment, it shows your determination. And I believe that that's probably where you're going to get the best results. And it allows me to really give you my full attention, all my energy, and to deliver as much value via programs and courses and all different things I've got planned to help people to improve their lives in a more valuable way. The second reason I've come away from my job to develop an online business is because of my mental well-being. Like I said, I was burning out, but also I feel it's my passion. I feel like me working in warehouses, as much as I'm qualified and I love the job and I can do a great job and I can help the company, and I might go back to that in the future, but I really wanted to pursue my inner passions, and I feel like purpose is absolutely massive for everybody, for you, in anything that you want to do in your life. If you've got a drive pushing you from behind and you've got goals and a vision that you're trying to strive for, I really believe that will get rid of anything else that's not aligned with that vision and with that drive. And that could be distractions, unhealthy habits, anything that's going to get in your way of that. And that's where I feel like it's real valuable for people to try and find that purpose. And that purpose is something I'm going to be providing you, because I think it's, as well as I can help people improve their health, what's the point if they've got no purpose? So my business, Si5 Improvement, is not going to be a sole business for me. It's not going to be a coaching business. It's going to become a company. And that could be a purpose that could really help you. So without further ado, let's get into the first episode of the new series of this podcast, which is about building resilience, mental toughness, things that you need, grit, in order to pursue the goals that you have in front of you. Because without grit, without determination, without that passion, without that resilience to overcome obstacles and hurdles and your own mental distracted ways of making you think, you will get lazy, we all get distracted, we all opt for comfort. And it's resilience that gets us through those hard moments. So this is what this podcast is going to be about. By the end of this podcast, you're going to know ways of implementing resilience, to install that resilience, to become a stronger minded person so that you can overcome the battles that you face on a daily basis. Now, the first step I took when I came away from my job was I fled the land and went to the Lake District, surrounding myself by mountains, by nature, and I checked into a lovely little cottage with a hot tub. Don't know if anybody follows me on social media, but I did a couple of funny videos of me and my white robe getting into my hot tub. Quite a comical thing, actually, because the door was very small and I'm a 6'2" guy. So every time I came out, I was kind of headbutting the roof of the door. But anyway, while I was away in the Lake District, I was climbing mountains. I wanted to climb mountains every day, and I ran a half marathon in Winlatter Forest, which is one of the hardest half marathons in the country. And the day before, I was set to climb Mount Pillar in the Lake District, which is next to Scarfell Pike. I ran the half marathon the day before, and I climbed Helvellyn the day before that, and I climbed Castle Rig the day before that. So I was quite tired come this point, and I started off up Mount Pillar. And about 10 minutes into the hike, I just thought, this ain't happening today. It's not happening. I'm too tired. I've done 3 big physical challenges in the last 3 days. And I just felt like I probably should have had a rest day. But I'd planned to do Pillar, and it was a mountain I hadn't climbed before, and I wanted to do it. So I was torn between, should I go back to my cottage and jump in the hot tub, or should I push myself into the hard climb that I was about to face? Now, usually when I'm looking up at a mountain, I'm pretty fit now, to be honest, and I usually think, yeah, this is good, I'm enjoying it. But on this occasion, I was looking up to the clouds, and I was thinking, I could see where the summit was. And I was just thinking, I cannot get up there today. I'm so tired. My legs were aching from a half marathon just yesterday. And I was just thinking, look, my body's broken, my mind's broken. I just need a rest. And, anyone would say that's probably the logical thing to do as well. And I'd probably encourage that as part of a balance. And I wasn't very balanced, to be honest, because I only had 7 days and I just wanted to do as much as I could. So that was the goal. And I leant my arms up on a fence, and I just thought, I'm 10 minutes into this walk. I could just turn around and go home. And I thought about it for about 5 minutes, and I thought, let's just push on, because the first 45 minutes of the hike up the mountain was actually on flat land. So I said, look, let's walk for 45 minutes to the point where it starts to go up, and I'll see how I feel. So I continued my walk. 45 minutes in, I just started to climb, and I sat down on a rock, and I just thought, I can't do it. And I was disappointed because I wanted to do pillar, and I couldn't do it the next day, so I had other things planned. So if I went back down, I couldn't do it again. And I just thought, I'm here once. I want to do this mountain, but on the second half, I couldn't do it on the second hand. I just thought to myself, I just need to get back. I can't keep walking up this mountain. It's so high as well. It was in the clouds, and I just thought it's going to take me 3 or 4 hours to get up there, and then I've got to come all the way back. So everything in my mind was telling me, don't do it, Harry. Go back and have a rest. I sat down on this rock, and I thought, right, what am I going to do? I either push myself on or I go back. And I started to think about it, and I was thinking, well, if I go back, I'm going to be disappointed because I haven't climbed the mountain. If I push on, I'm going to be disappointed because I just don't want to be here today. So I can't win either way. I started working out the pros and the cons in my discombobulated mind like I do. I just overthink things all the time. Something I learned about coming away from my day job was I feel like I actually should have came away from the job about a year prior. I just feel like I moved house and I started to struggle with the distance. I had to get up earlier. I started to battle with the traffic. I started to battle with the job. I've been there 3.5 years, and I was just turning up tired all the time. And therefore I was just lacking energy and passion for the actual job because I was so tired because of the distance. I was driving 1.5 hours to work in the morning and about 2 hours back home in the rush hour traffic. It just was not sustainable. And I should have made that decision a year ago. And I learned, when I come away from the job, I always reflect back at where I can improve my life, what could I have improved in that process? Because that's where we learn the most from, is the failure. And I failed to take that action sooner. So I asked myself, where did I go wrong? Excuse me. And I went wrong on not making a decision quicker. That's what it come down to. That was the overall failure. I failed to make a decision. That could have been because of self-doubt, financial problems. I liked the company and I didn't really want to leave the job. But I failed to make that decision. And I started to try and bend things. So I started off by changing my hours. And then I started off by leaving the house earlier and leaving my job earlier to try and beat the traffic. Then I started thinking maybe I could do 4 days a week to give myself an extra week. I tried taking a Wednesday off midweek. Then I thought about taking a Friday off. Then I thought about just reducing my hours. And I was doing all this kind of trying to fix the problem. And maybe that's what it took to realise that nothing I was doing was working. But I think I should have realised and trusted my gut instinct, because my gut instinct was saying it's time to leave. So I didn't want to leave my house. I just moved up here. I like living where I'm living now. The cat's got a garden, yeah, and I just think I don't want to move. You don't want to move house after about 9 months of just moving, do you? So, and I wanted to pursue my passions of the online business and helping other people. So I failed to make a decision quicker. Now, I'd learned that lesson, and as I sat on this rock on the way up Mount Pillar, I started debating this. Well, should I go home? Should I go up? Should I go back? Should I go up? And I suddenly thought, hold on a minute, Harry. You're doing it again. You're not making a decision. You need to make a decision, and it needs to be now. What are you going to do? And my gut instinct told me I need to get up that bloody mountain, right? And so I made that decision. Well, in that case, that is what I am doing. The second thing I had to then do was commit to that decision and never go back. And that's exactly what I did. And it was hard. And I was putting one foot in front of the other. And about 10 more minutes up the climb, I stopped again and thought, should I go back down? And I thought, no, it's not an option. You've already made the decision. Stick with it and get on with it. And I just carried on putting one foot in front of the other. As soon as I realised I'd actually got up the hardest bit of the climb, I looked back and I thought, blimey, it's only been 20 minutes and I'm actually already here. I'm already up to like, there was this thing called something pass where there's a bit of a cross path. And I thought, wow, I'm already at this point. So that's good. Still only about halfway up to the summit, but I thought, well, I'm already halfway up. Anyway, cut a long story short, I got to the summit. And do you know how pleased I felt when I got to that summit? Do you know why? Because I was resilient. No matter though I actually felt uncomfortable in the moment, I had the vision of the goal ahead of me. And I knew it was going to be hard to get there, but I had to get through that hard process. And it's the same for you. This is why I'm giving this example, because it's exactly the same for you. Whether you want to give up addictions to substances like junk food or alcohol or drugs or nicotine, or you want to get out exercising, you want to get yourself fitter, or you want to push yourself into a new job. Whatever it might be, there's going to be an initial stage of discomfort. And in that stage, you are going to have a certain amount of resilience, but you're also going to develop more resilience. Because it's during that process where you then build confidence in yourself. Just another shout out to my founding sponsor, Gareth Stubbs, who has a recipe book for you. Are you looking to shake up your kitchen routine? Then Gareth's Kitchen, the Unorthodox Cookbook, is the creative, flavour-packed companion that you didn't know that you needed. I use this cookbook myself, and I've cooked with loads of recipes from it, and it is absolutely brilliant. Love the cookbook, use it all the time. So if you're tired of preparing the same old meals over and over again, it's time to discover delicious, simple, creative meals that are fun to cook as they are to eat. This book is packed with simple, flavour-packed recipes designed to bring more ease, inspiration, and joy to your everyday meals. Whether you're a seasoned chef or whether you're just kitchen curious or just starting out, it's perfect for cooks of all levels. No super fancy skills required, just a willingness to be creative and try something new. Visit Amazon right now and search for Gareth's Kitchen, the Unorthodox Cookbook. Go and get your copy and bring a little unorthodox magic into your kitchen. And I'm going to talk about the science behind this now, because you'll be interested to know that there is a part of our brain that when we volunteer to push ourselves into hardship and discomforting situations, there's a part of our brain that actually grows. Now, I'm going to read this from the book because it's a long word. It's the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. That part of the brain, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, that part of the brain is actually grows grey matter when we push ourselves into voluntary discomfort. Not discomfort that we haven't volunteered for. It has to be a voluntary. Now, this could be where cold water therapy comes into play, cold plunges. We are volunteering to put ourselves in cold water. It could be going out for a run. We are volunteering to push ourselves through physical effort. It could be climbing that mountain when we don't want to. It could be battling with our addictions and the discomfort that comes with that, and holding strong willingly, voluntarily, putting ourselves through the motions of what it takes. When that happens, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex increases in grey matter density. When that grows, it actually enables us to deal with more resilience in the near future. Amazing how the brain works. You can push yourself into voluntary discomfort so that in the near future, that grey matter has increased to the point where you're now going to find it easier to deal with hard situations in the near future. Amazing. And that is where voluntary discomfort actually scientifically improves your resilience and your grit and your mental toughness. Amazing. I thought it was a really, really good scientific fact. And I actually took that from the Andrew Huberman podcast. And then I did a bit of research after I'd heard it just to clarify what he said. So it's amazing to think of that. So that is something valuable for you. If you're not pushing yourself right now, then you're never going to develop resilience. You're always going to find it hard when something hard comes along in your life because you haven't practiced. You haven't increased that grey matter in the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Now, there's also another part of the brain, another bit of science for you. It's called the anterior cingulate cortex. This actually works in alignment with the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex by improving our endurance. So it's not so much the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex that is actually responsible for us being able to handle more challenging situations that push ourselves into hardship and discomfort. But the anterior cingulate cortex helps us to endure the process of that hardship. So there's two different parts of the brain working together that can really push ourselves into mental toughness. Now, this is why you'll find that some people are handling situations that are hard and other people can't. It's actually scientifically because they have been practicing resilience all their life. It could be through exercise. It could be through going to the gym when you don't feel like it. It could be for getting your trainers on and going for a walk when you actually just want to stay at home in your dressing gown. It could be that you're sticking to a diet and you're restricting your calories and you're opting for that temporary discomfort that it takes to lose weight. Anything that is going to push you into discomfort, cold water therapy, it could be anything like that. So look for the hard option. Take that because you will develop resilience and that will help you for the rest of your life to handle tougher situations when they arise. And you know what? It might just be the reason why I managed to overcome the death of my dad easier than I actually thought I was going to. 20 years ago, I remember saying to my best mate, I would absolutely dread the day when my dad dies because I would not be able to cope. Now, 20 years leading up to that point, I'd been dieting, I'd been pushing myself through exercise, I'd been having cold plunges, and maybe that just increased my brain to be able to deal with the resilience and the grit and the mental toughness that I needed to overcome the death of the man I loved more than anything in the world. It might have just contributed. Who knows? So that is how we can voluntarily push ourselves into developing resilience. Now, we can also, like as I said about the death of my dad, life can sometimes force us to be resilient. So when you face a life challenge that you haven't asked for, you haven't volunteered for, it's just been thrown at you. Because life will do that. You know, a friend of mine at work who I used to work with a few years back, he used to say that he'd be walking down the street, all nice, metaphorically walking down the street in life, where a baseball bat just smacks you straight round the face. And what he meant by that was, you know, 1 minute you're fine in life, and then all of a sudden, bang, you've got a health scare. You've lost a loved one. Something's happened. You have a car crash, whatever it might be. Just unfortunate, unexpected situations arise in life. If you're going through something now that is really challenging you and you didn't ask for it, maybe just try and flip that situation to your advantage and think, this is a way, it's life's way of testing my resilience. Or it's life's way of building my resilience so that I can adopt a tougher mindset in the future when I have to deal with something even worse than this. So try and flip that situation that you're going through. If you're going through something really tough right now, flip that into thinking, this is a test. I could use this to develop resilience. Now, there's a lot of people, and I see a lot of people, and I'm not judging, it's an observation, that when I tell them to exercise, and when I share with them the benefits of exercise, they kind of give me the response where they go, nah, yeah, I know. It's kind of like they know they should be doing it, but they don't do it because they don't want to push themselves into that discomfort. They're getting so comfortable with being comfortable that they're actually being too comfortable, and they're not building anything. They're not building their brains. They're not building their mental toughness. So despite the benefits, they're refusing to take that temporary discomfort to push themselves into that discomfort, which is a shame because it brings so many benefits. I mean, you think about not just developing resilience, but if you actually went out and exercised, you'd increase your fitness, you'd get daylight, which hits the retina behind the eye, which sends serotonin release from the brain. It puts you in a good mood. There's so many benefits to exercise. Building mental resilience is just one of them. So it's a real shame when people just have the attitude when they just go, yeah, because they just can't be bothered. You have to push yourself, people. You really do. Otherwise, you're never going to build mental toughness. You're never going to improve anything in your life with that attitude. Now, something I'm going to be working on when I talk about coming out of my job into online business, I have noticed that people know what to do. They know they should be exercising and eating healthily and living a healthy lifestyle. They know that. And they know the benefits of it. I'm pretty sure they know that it's going to increase their fitness and it's good for their mental well-being. It releases endorphins. I think most people know this. So if they know what it does and they know how it works and they know they should be doing it, why don't they do it? I just don't think there's enough of a push. I spoke about purpose at the start of this podcast, how that is so important and how I had to come away from my job to pursue my purpose, which has completely dramatically improved my mental well. I've never actually felt better, probably in the last good few years, than I do now, because I'm purpose driven. And I feel like people are lacking that purpose. So I've thought really hard about how can I offer people the opportunity to give them that purpose. Because with that purpose comes drive. And with that drive comes motivation. And with that motivation gives them enough willpower to create daily habits in their lifestyle. And with those daily habits, when they become automatic, which is around the point of 66 days, according to the University of Studies of London, that's when discipline takes over, and discipline drives that forward on a long-term consistent basis to start giving you the results that you've been longing for a long time. So I've been working on something. It's a program that is going to give people a greater purpose. It's also going to prompt them quite strongly to do what I know it takes. Now, I'm not necessarily a coach. I don't coach people through what they're going through to try and help them that way. I'm more of a consultant. I'm more of a, you come to me, I will tell you what to do, you go and do it, and you will get results. I'm very results driven. I'm not so much of a mentor who wants to go through your problems. I need to understand them, and you're welcome to come to me with them, but I'm very results driven. And I know what it's going to take. So I know it takes someone to develop purpose, which is what Si5 Improvement, my business, will provide you. And I'm also going to provide you a very strong prompt to get moving to action, to take the daily action that's needed as part of a lifestyle, a structure, discipline. I'm going to kind of enforce that through my program. And yes, there's going to be flexibility, because we all have bad days, but it is going to be a very strong prompt. So when you're sitting there thinking, I should go out for a run, but I can't be bothered, and you're 50-50 about it, I'm going to just make that 60% rather than 50%. It's just going to be enough from the accountability that I'm going to provide one-to-one with you to get your backside out that door, to get you eating healthy, So make sure you're implementing lifestyle tasks into your daily life that you're going to be accountable to do. So I think with that lifestyle structure and the purpose that is going to drive you to want to improve yourself, which is a purpose bigger than yourself. And we always talk about it. AA talks about this, Alcoholics Anonymous. They talk about having a purpose bigger than yourself. You look at people who are religious, who want to serve their God. They can go to church, or they preach, or they share their faith because they've got a purpose bigger than themselves. That's what drives people. And that's what I'm going to provide in my program. I'm going to talk a lot more about this, and it's going to be launched on the 17th of October. Depending on when you're listening to this podcast, it's coming up in the next week or two. You might be listening to this podcast in the future, which means I've already launched it, which means you might have missed out on the opportunity of getting involved this time around. But you're very welcome to join on the next intake of this program. But on October the 17th, which is a Friday evening at 7 p.m, a date chosen specifically because people are usually succumbing to their unhealthy habits on a Friday evening. They're usually drinking or eating, getting a takeaway. I want to test that resolve. If you're someone that is serious about improving your health, then I've chosen that date on purpose. Because if you're someone that's going out boozing, or you're getting takeaways and you don't want to tune in live to watch my launch, then you're not taking your health seriously enough. So it's a bit of a test for people. But I will be going live on my Facebook, my personal Facebook account, Harry Edward Bassant. So make sure you follow me now in order to tune in and listen to my live launch, where I'm actually going to be giving a special talk called How to Finally Take Control of Your Health. I'll be delivering that talk, which talks about how I have overcome drinking alcohol, which I'm now almost 6 years sober, how I lost 7 stone in weight and completely transformed the identity that I had, which is what I'm now here on this podcast. This is my identity now. I would never be doing this before I started my health transformation. I'm going to be sharing the exact steps that I took to regain control of my health, the mindset, the lifestyle, the identity, and the purpose. And I'm going to be delivering that in the talk, live on Facebook, Harry Edward Bassant, and on my TikTok account, Si5 Improvement, where you can tune in there as well. And I'm going to be delivering that talk, and at the end of that talk, I will be officially launching my first ever program to really give value to anybody that finally wants to take control of their health and live life with a greater purpose. If that is not for you just now, because it is going to be a longer term commitment, we're talking months, because change doesn't take place in a short period of time. I don't believe in fads, although they can be motivational and get you on the road. I believe that it has to be a longer term vision and a longer term commitment. That's what the program's going to provide. But if you're someone that's in a rut and you just need a real kickstart, then I've also got a free of charge downloadable tool called Power Start 7, which is a 7-day health reset challenge that will just try and pick you out of a rut and in 7 days get you back on your feet. That is found on my social media, in my profile bio, where there's a link. Click on that link. You can download Power Start 7 whenever you choose to do so, absolutely free. So thank you very much for listening to this podcast. I hope I've delivered some value on resilience for you to develop and to go forth with your life in order to cope with difficult situations that you're going to need to overcome. And I thank you very much for tuning in and for your ongoing support with me on this podcast. If you're on YouTube watching, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and please share this podcast episode with someone or even on your social media. I really want to start getting this podcast growing and you can help me to do that. I would really appreciate it. If you're listening in on audio on Apple or Spotify, please follow the show on those platforms and please share it as well. And you only have to share it maybe to one person that you think might be going through a difficult process right now and who needs this bit of motivation in how you can develop resilience. And don't forget to tune in to my live launch and my special talk, on Friday, the 17th of October on my Facebook and my TikTok. Thank you very much, everybody. Go into your week and absolutely smash it. You've got it in you to improve yourself, because when you improve yourself, you improve your life. I know you've got what it takes. I never thought I did, and I do. And if I can change, you can change. We're all just human beings. We all just need to develop the tools and the mindset and the lifestyle structure, a bit of knowledge and a bit of accountability to what it takes to move forward in your life. Thank you for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you on the next episode, which is every week, every Monday, 6 a.m, which is where the audio feed will come out. And on YouTube, I think the YouTube videos now, which is brand new on Series 2, which is an addition to this podcast, I think they'll be going out on Wednesdays, but I will clarify that to be absolutely sure. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.